Forgot her name.
Representative Wilson, y'all are live on YouTube.
Okay, did I have your name right? Was it Amanda?
It is, yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I remembered. Okay, thank you. This is the Joint Conference Committee on House Bill 127, Public Health Amendments. Senator McEwen, seeing as you had, it was your hand on it last, I think. Do you want to explain, give us a quick summary of your amendments?
Yes, ma'am. If we look at the First Amendment, basically that is changing the language at the end of the bill that makes the legislature responsible after 60 days, vice allowing the governor to have continual control forever. And really that's about what that does. The next amendment allows us, if the legislature does meet after 60 days, to meet via Zoom. And then on page 3, line 2, the third amendment, and actually it was the second amendment, I apologize, it gives how the order can die or be killed, I guess you would call it. 60 days, if nothing happens, it goes away. The governor himself can end any of the orders or mandates, or it can be modified or repealed. All of them point out that there's consultation with all of the health officers at each level. The intent of the changes are really to go back to the state constitution, Article 1, Section 38, Part C, clearly states that the legislature is responsible for this activity and not the executive branch. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So I'd entertain any questions.
Questions for Senator McEwen?
Read that Part C for me in the Constitution.
I don't think he has it.
I didn't bring the Constitution with me.
I just heard you say it clearly points out in there that that's the legislature. And I'm just curious what that says exactly.
Says the legislature will be responsible for the health of the state and orders related to that.
And you're taking that as literally in charge of,
Yes.
okay.
I did have a question. So and I printed my amendments out from the third reading amendment number 1. It looks to me, so any order issued under paragraphs A1 through 3, which is the county and whatnot. Then little 3, not be subject to any modification, repeal, or abrogation by the state health officer. So I take it you're meaning that if Teton County issued one saying that people couldn't leave their home for a year, the state health officer can't do anything about that. I mean, right? That's kind of the opposite of what you're thinking.
Well, in the beginning of the bill, in order for the counties to continue on, there's a time limit on them too. It got knocked down to 10 days from 30. But the county commissioners cannot keep it going forever either.
Without a vote.
Right.
Okay. Any more questions? Representative Senator Steinmetz.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just was wondering what part of the Constitution did you reference? Because I have it up.
Section 1.
It's probably meaning that part about where we have to
38.
manage vice and disorder or whatever it is, the health and well-being of the state being important. I have that. I have a post-it on that one.
It's either C or D. I'm sure it's C though.
Okay. Oh, right, of healthcare access.
I think he's thinking of one earlier on in the original Constitution where it says the health and well-being of the state being important, that we shall manage vice and
That's the right
whatnot.
of healthcare access.
I am,
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead and read them what you want to say.
Line or paragraph C,
Which article? is it?
Article 1, Section 38.
right of healthcare access.
states the legislature may determine reasonable and necessary restrictions on the rights granted under this section to protect the health and general welfare of the people or to accomplish the other purposes set forth in the Wyoming Constitution.
Hi, Tara.
Greetings.
Greetings. Okay, so, committee, any further questions about the amendments? Okay, so, Senate, we sort of caucused among ourselves on the House side, and, of course, two of the three of us are on the original bill. So, we like the bill as it left our chamber. We're okay with your amendment on page 1, line 14. The bit about the public notice for 48 hours from the county people
Okay.
in the committee of the whole amendment number 1, that first page 1, line 14 part. We're okay with that. That's the only part we're okay with.
Well, as I read the bill as it's written, we're just codifying into law what we just did. And we just put a whole bunch of small businesses out of business while we let corporate America enjoy record profit making. We treated each county as if the case was the same with statewide orders, and they probably should have been treated differently. Each county probably should have made its own decision. And the bill kind of, as it's written now, we're just saying, hey, look, we kind of tried to help everybody, but we're not really doing anything.
Well, it does separate out. Representative Larson, no, go ahead. Do you want to? Well, I was just going to say, the bill does separate out the ability of counties to issue orders regarding businesses and people who are not sick from the state health officers dealing with the sick people, which we felt like was a lot of people's concern. And it also puts in about the governor really being the ultimate signatory of the orders, which we felt like put in an elected person. Senator Mothercott, did you have something? You sound like you were
No,
hearing.
I'm impressed by this conference committee bill. Mine are ragtag.
We are not
Well, I
ragtag
have
at
a
all.
question on that, and if I could borrow your bill, so I guess my question would be and I'll turn on my microphone, Madam Chairman. My question would be then can the governor override the county decision, the governor's order, or are you leaving that in the hands of the local electeds without our amendments?
I believe it's at the very end of the bill.
Yeah, let me just see.
And it basically just says, in a nutshell, the governor can do what he wants for as long as he wants.
Senator or Representative Larson, is that you?
Missing a page.
Madam Chairman, he can't do it ongoing. He has to come back and give subsequent orders. And then, like you say, they can't be for more than 10 days. Right?
Right,
Is that the
so
way-
I thought it was.
shall be effective for a period of not more than 10 days. Subsequent orders shall only be issued by the governor for any duration with consultation. So it's 10 days. And then you're right. I mean, the bill as original doesn't have the legislature in it.
And so at the end of the 10 days, then you've got either your county commission or your municipality.
Well, remember, there's a division between the restrictions on movements of people who are not sick, which is the localities. Not 10 days, then the county commissioners. So that's one direction. And then the state health officer has, I think, 10 days for the sick people. And then after that, it has to be, the governor has to sign off on them. I don't believe there is a limitation in the current. Let me just see, check my engrossed bill. They threw away all the engrossed ones. I had to print them off in paper, so it makes it a little more confusing to follow.
At the very end, it basically says subsequent orders, including order extensions for the same purpose, shall only be issued by the governor for any duration with consultation provided by the state health officer.
Right.
I don't know if the 10-day thing really in the beginning of that paragraph restricts the end of the paragraph. But even if it is 10 days, you can just keep going 10 days, 10 days, 10 days, 10 days, 10 days
Right. So,
until.
yeah, not to spend excessive on this, but that's where we're at. We're okay with adding that paragraph. Otherwise, we're not.
I think we're of the point then, we don't even need to do a law if we're going to do what we're already practicing.
So you're okay with the governor not signing off on the state health officers? I mean,
No, I
that
think
seemed
that's
like that
an
was a
improvement.
something.
That's, I mean, I think we need to talk it over a little bit more, but I think that is an improvement. It's not quite as, maybe far as the Senate position would like to go. I like the 10 days but that applies to individuals not under quarantine or isolation. But then could you just explain to me why the position is that we're not okay for it to be past 10 days and then we have a subsequent order that we are okay with the governor just kind of taking the reins? I mean, could you just explain the thoughts on that? Because I'm interested to know.
My position is just, and I think of the committee, is that the legislature is just not that agile. We really have no method of hearing, if the state health, when you consider what we normally do with bills, you would have testimony. We would hear it, in committee, bring it to the floor, explain it to the floor, go down to the other end. In a situation in which we have some virtual meeting, we have no format. The state health officer can't testify on the floor of the Senate or on the House. How do we understand the thinking behind it? I'm not sure it just doesn't make sense to us.
I
That
guess
the legislature has the capability of agilely responding to those situations.
Say this. This conversation doesn't end this session, right? So much of the work, a lot of the work needs to continue. I do think it's important for this bill to pass. So it does feel like the legislature has responded to the need to address concerns about the health, officers. So that's important. And I think continued conversation, Senator McEwen, about it is helpful. As I have always expressed concern about doing this right now in the middle of the pandemic, it's hard to get perspective. And I'm not saying you don't or any of us don't, but we're certainly solving a problem in light of what we just experienced. And as I said before, we're tying our hands blindfolded as well, trying to anticipate a process that makes sense for a pandemic or a health emergency that we don't know. And so I do think we have responded to the needs of the public and the people of Wyoming, and it may not be perfect. And I think even an additional 8 months before we come back, help us maybe look at more best practices concerning responding to pandemics. Obviously this work is being done across the states, across the country, and I think we can do greater work. So all is not lost here, but I do think it's important we pass the bill.
So let's do this, if I may, because I would love to hit my 4 o'clock bill signing. It's
Would
not my bill, but-
anybody, would anybody else like to
Oh, yes.
speak?
Well, or we could meet it, maybe if you guys want to talk some more, and we could try again at 9:30.
Let's do 9:30 in the morning, if that would
that okay?
please the two chairmen of this committee. Would that
Are
work for
you the
you
chairman?
guys?
That
Or no,
works
you're the
for me.
chairman. You're
Troy
the
is the
chairman. Is that
chairman.
okay with you, co-chairman?
That's
Yes.
fine.
Okay.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, Amanda, we're recessing.
Until 9:30.
until 9:30
In the
tomorrow
morning.
morning.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Chairman Wilson.
thank you.